It's a beautiful morning, day 6 of my Rideau Trail hike. Making my way from Smith Falls to Perth today. I'm gonna try and beat some of the heat. I'm gonna try and be careful. Looks like my feet are also swelling a little bit, which is normal, but the heat really does a number on my body. So I'm gonna try and take lots of breaks, stay hydrated, and keep up a positive attitude. Oh yeah. Well, we have about 2.5 kilometers field and kind of brush. Should be a pretty walk. Unfortunately, the grass is getting my toes wet again. But right now there's a nice breeze and the sun's shining. It's not killer hot just yet. Let's go. Oh, just came out from all that field walking and scrub walking at the end of Poonamally Road. Poonamally. Anyway, man, the fields in there are so overgrown. It's full of ankle breakers. It's so long. Oh, and it's hard to find your way in some spots. It's not marked, and there's deer trails and stuff, but this is more manageable. Well, I'm downtown Perth. Town hall, on my way to the outskirts to go meet my friend. It has been a long day. I have a new blister too. Never had blisters like this in my life. Holy cow. Anyway, I wonder if there's any ice cream. Oh, there's ice cream. Dudes. Yes. Well, I'm at the corner of an intersection. The Rideau Trail continues across the road over that stile. I am waiting for my ride to pick me up. I am done. Today was 25.5K and I'm wiped. The heat has just made me completely trouble finding words. Anyway, I'm looking forward to going for a swim, relaxing, and seeing a friend. See you later. So it's morning and day 7. My friend Jessica picked me up last night. She fed me supper, took me for a swim, great conversation and laughs, and then gave me breakfast this morning and dropped me back off where she picked me up. So I met Jessica when I hiked the Rideau Trail in 2021. She was section hiking with a friend, and we were chatting. It was very hot. Anyway, I had asked how far it was to the place I was going to camp because they had just come from that way, and she let me know, and we said our goodbyes. Anyway, she showed up later that night with some cold beers and some great conversation, and that was the ultimate trail magic. A couple of cold beers and made a friend. Very like-minded people. So Jessica had offered to let me set up my tent in her yard and pick me up from the trail while I was passing through Perth. And I can't thank her enough. Thank you so much. It was lovely, and it really uplifted my spirits. Hi, excuse me. I'm hiking the Rideau Trail, and I decided to hike part of one of the blue loops, one of the alternates. Do you know the way? The way? Yeah, I'm looking for the way. Do you know the way? The way? The way. Wow, they weren't much help, were they? I think the heat's getting to me. So, yesterday, on my way into Perth, I actually found my first black-legged deer tick of the trip. It was crawling up my neck, hadn't bit or anything, but I will say, even on the last time, Perth to Frontenac, it is a tick haven. You'll find the black-legged deer tick and the brown-spotted dog ticks. The black-legged deer ticks are the ticks that carry Lyme disease. It's important to check often and regularly. I don't wear long pants, but I do use DEET when needed. And it's actually, I try to do a check at night before I go to bed. And then I check again in the morning in case one was on my clothes and crawled onto me. And if you're by yourself, you can actually use your phone, take a video of areas that you can't see very well to make sure that nothing has latched onto you so you don't get Lyme disease. I'm on the private land that borders Murphy's Point Provincial Park. The horseflies are swarming, but there's still nothing compared to that tail end of the mica mines that I did a little while ago. The last handful of kilometers there. Couldn't stop, couldn't even take the camera out. It was brutal. Mosquitoes, deer flies, swarming in the millions. But I did stop and ask to fill up my water bottles with this private landowners, and really nice fellow, and allows people to use his land to access the trail. The only problem apparently they've had is people during hunting season. So remember, you're not allowed on most of the trail that's private during hunting season. But my gosh, thanks for letting us use your land. I don't know if you can see this little guy. I almost stepped on him. Well, I made it a little while ago to Murphy's Point Provincial Park, coming in the back end, and now I'm at Lally Homestead. Well, yesterday evening I got here to Murphy's Point Provincial Park, and I decided that I would get a site for 2 nights. So today, which would be day 8, is going to be a 0 day. That way I can recover, relax, and get off my feet for a little bit. It's early afternoon, and I'm already feeling like my legs feel better, my feet are feeling better, I'm just in better spirits. And I think the first time I hiked the Rideau Trail in 2021, I didn't plan any rest days. I had sites booked months in advance, and I had to make those dates because there was nothing else available. So I decided this time to give myself more flexibility. So if I needed to stop or if I needed to rest, that I could do that. So right now I'm happy with my decision. That way tomorrow I can hit the trail with fresh feet and fresh legs and feel better. I just went to the park store and I got a couple of snacks, and I got some more bug spray because I'm running low. I've been going through so much of it. The horse flies, deer flies, and mosquitoes have been really bad. But I think this will be a good thing. I'm going to do a small load of laundry, get my clothes washed. I've been hand washing my clothes and alternating my socks every day, etc. But it'd be nice to actually run them through a washer. And I had a shower, and I'm just lounging. Today I'm a lady of leisure, just lounging. I did get a bag of Doritos, which I may have to eat because I don't want to have to pack these out. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow and hitting the trail. I've got permission from Foley Mountain Conservation Area to camp there tomorrow, free for Rideau Trail hikers. So it'll help break up my mileage a bit until my next campsite. Anyway, talk to you later. Well, I'm leaving the campsite that I took a 0 at. Here at Murphy's Point, you can't even sit outside your tent. The mosquitoes are so bad. Holy cow. Goodbye. Well, it's the morning of day 8. Yesterday I took a 0 to rest and recover. I'm feeling off this morning. I don't know, I'm still really tired, and my guts aren't feeling great. I don't know, but I haven't been sleeping well. Normally I sleep like the dead when I'm backpacking. You know, my body is so tired, it needs to recover at night. And I've been lucky if I've been getting 5 hours sleep a night. And I'm waking up during that time. So I'm hoping tonight I can get some rest, get to bed early, and we're heading towards Foley Mountain. Hoping the bugs aren't too bad on the way there, because the more bugs there are, the faster I have to move, which isn't great first thing in the day. All right. Is that pretty or what? Oh. It's a real shame. That stretch that I just did is one of the prettiest sections of trail that we've hiked so far. But the bugs were so bad that I had to race through it. At Foley Mountain Conservation Area, and I made it to the group site. I've got my tent set up over there, and I'm just drawing out a few things. There are flush washrooms and a picnic area. It was a long haul down North Shore Road. It never ends, but oh, the mosquitoes. Made it here. Gonna go to Lookout in the morning to Spy Rock. I made sure not to go there tonight because I want to go there at dawn or when I wake up. And gonna get ready for bed. I'm hoping that I can fall asleep early because I've only gotten like 5 hours sleep a night. So I am getting burnt out, and I need sleep to keep going. Good night. Good morning from day 9 on the Rideau Trail. I camped at Foley Mountain Conservation Area last night. I got the best sleep that I've gotten since the start of my trip. Somehow that's great because the exhaustion was starting to really affect me physically from not sleeping. I'm making a second cup of coffee because I require it. I'm going to get packed up and then I'd have my coffee and head over to Spy Rock and then to get a view of Westport and then hike towards Bedford Mills today. There's a bunch of road walking and then in and out of the bush. I know there's some dirt track as well that hopefully the bugs subside a little bit. I know that's been an ongoing theme, and you might think I'm being whiny, which I am. I'm used to bugs, and you know, I've learned to live with them, but it's just been relentless from the amount of rain we've gotten this spring. The trail's so wet, and the mosquitoes, the population's bigger than normal, I think. And yeah, it's been wearing on me mentally and then physically with the bites all over. Now, I don't wear long pants because I'll sweat to death. And I don't like a bug net because I can't have anything over my face. If anything, I wear the hood like this and I use bug spray, but it doesn't seem to matter what you have, they still get through to you. And if you're all covered up, you get really, really hot, and then they come after you even more. Anyway, gonna have this cup of coffee, and get packed up, and let's get going. Oh. Love a good view. So, I don't know, maybe you've noticed in the these videos, which I haven't taken as many as normal, my mood's a little off. Ultimately, I think a lot of the time, you know, you look at a hike and it's all the beautiful parts of it. Like right now, this is beautiful, clear trail, you know, which is the easiest to record on. But I'll tell you, a lot of this trip has been, so far, type 2 fun. You know, swamp, flooded out, overgrown, you know, bugs, roads, you know, stuff that's actually hard to like film in, or stuff that sometimes is just taken everything I have mentally to stay in the game, so to speak. But, you know, a trip like this, you know, it's not going to be the, I mean, like maybe for some, for me, it's more of a challenge. For a lot of people, this is, you know, maybe a walk in the park. For me, you know, trying to do the 350K in 14 days during heat waves and everything else, or just in general, I think it's a lot of mileage. You know, I think it's, you know, it's tough. And, you know, I can just imagine what it's like, you know, for people who are hiking the AT, you know, doing this for months at a time. But all I know is that you may not always see everything, but it's it can be tough mentally, on top of the physically, just trying to get through the bugs, the terrain, the heat, you know. So I forget what I was trying to say before now. Oh well. Hey, little guy. Oh, look how pretty you are. So something that's really cool is last night on my way to Foley Mountain, a car pulled over and said, "Hey, I know you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I recognize you too." Anyway, we talked for a little bit, and it was George. So George, I met George and his partner Kathleen in 2021, walking past their house, hiking the Rideau Trail. I was hiking from Kingston to Ottawa, and it was before I hit the Foley Mountain area, and I was out of water, and they filled up my water, and we talked a little bit. This was 3 years ago. So this morning, I'm walking past their place, and I knew, I was like, oh, it's going to be right up here to the left. I remembered their house, and sat and chatted with them for a bit, and they asked if I needed anything, and I asked if there was a gas station or anything around. Was hoping to maybe get a couple more snacks and some more methyl hydrate for my alcohol stove, and because I knew I was going to be short for the trip, but I could only pack so much. And George took me on a run to the hardware store and to the corner store. We got some methyl hydrate, got some more snacks, so I have enough to enjoy coffee every single morning on the rest of my trip and a hot supper. So, you folks are trail angels, amazing people. Thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope that we can talk again soon. Cheers! I have to say, I think the stretch from Foley Mountain through the Lions Club is one of my favorite stretches on the trail, comparable to like Frontenac Park in terms of beauty. Most elevation gain you'll get, up and down, you know, but granite ridges, beautiful forests, just the way I like it. Well, it is late morning of day 10. I camped in the yard of one of my oldest friend's parents' place, and it was great to see them. They're amazing people, and they helped me out a lot when I was a teenager. Anyway, I'm on my way to the Bonwell shelter. It's only about 13K from where I stayed, and it's basically to help break up my mileage a little bit. Because there is a blue loop I could take through Buck Lake, I think. But I would have had to leave really early this morning. And I'm planning on camping at the primitive site in Frontenac Park. Hope I can find it. But today really is like that buffer to break up a couple of like almost 30-kilometer days. So today is the day. So hopefully it'll be kind of like it's a light and easy day. I left very late this morning. Enjoyed that extra cup of coffee and some company. Gonna get to camp early. Hopefully get some sleep and leave bright and early because I'll have a decent hike tomorrow. And yeah, I'm in pretty good spirits. My feet are feeling all right. My ankles are feeling all right. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, my legs feel tired and hot. I mean, it's to be expected. But I think I'm kind of hitting my stride a little bit. The first portion of this trip, to be honest, I was pretty miserable with the extreme heat. I mean, it's hot today. It's not quite as hot as it had been. You know, the extreme heat, the rain, there was a lot of pavement. You know, my morale was really down. And of course, my body was just getting used to this. You know, it doesn't matter how much you prep for a trail, doing it every day is going to affect you, especially carrying a pack. Speaking of packs, my pack is quite heavy right now. I have my last 4 or 5 days of food. I had a resupply box mailed to my location yesterday. My friend's parents at Bedford Mills. And so I have my last few days of food, which I can feel the weight difference. So that added quite a few pounds suddenly to my pack, but I will get through that pretty quick, I'm sure. Anyway, gonna hike towards the shelter. I'll have to fill up my water bladder somewhere so I have water for the night and filter that. But it's looking like it's gonna be a good day. Well, I'm on the Rideau Trail now. I will follow this trail for a little bit and then it's going to skirt back into the bush towards the Bonwell shelter. In the morning, I'll follow the loop around, and then it comes back up to the Cataract Way for a few kilometers tomorrow until we reach the back end of Frontenac Park. So one of the trickiest things about this trail is camping. So there are places that you are legally allowed to camp at. You can rent a campsite. There's more than what I've done. Other places that are off the trail, or you can go into towns and use hotels too. But the last few days of this trip, which are the closest to Kingston, it'll be a lot of wild camping because there really is nowhere to go. And unfortunately, the 3 sites at Doe Lake and Frontenac are booked. So tomorrow I'm going to try and find the primitive site that the Rideau Trail put together, if it's still there, and wild camp. I know last time I had done this trail, I booked my sites months in advance because they book up fast. And unfortunately, when I was doing the trail, it didn't give me any wiggle room or flexibility if I needed to take a day to rest or anything else. So it's kind of a toss-up, you know. Wild camping can be beautiful, but you know, you need to try and be discreet. You have to be respectful and quiet. So there's that. So in general, for this trip, my mileage is based on how far apart I can camp from another place and what I can actually hike realistically in a day. So for the wild camping or stealth camping, it's for days where, you know, I can't do 50, 60 kilometers in between one place to another. I have to break it up into 30 or less just to make it reasonable. That's where, like, a day like today, doing less kilometers today will kind of put me in a position that I can manage the kilometers for the other days. Here we are at the Bonwell shelter. Whew. I'm going to inspect for wasps. Last time I was here, it was packed with wasp nests. I get my pack off. I just filled up my water bladder. You can see that. 2 liters. It's 5 pounds of water. Wow, just for like 200 meters, I could feel that. Wow. So I'm going to about getting set up, relax a little bit, and talk to you later. Well, I just filled out the visitor's log. It's the only visitor's log on the Rideau Trail. And I read through the comments from other people. It's kind of cool. I've got some of my clothes airing out and drying. My sleeping bag and air mattress kind of drying out. They were damp this morning. I'm set up as level as possible with minimal damage to the area. It's just an imprint in the grass. I'm gonna put this back. There are hornets and wasps inside the shelter, so I will not be using that again, which is disappointing. And then I'm gonna make some supper and probably go to bed really early. I've got a big couple of days to finish the trail, especially going through Frontenac Park and Gold Lake. It's some some harder terrain. The type of terrain I like to hike, but harder nonetheless. Guess that's dry. But yeah, I'm gonna have an early night and get a good early start tomorrow. It is so nice just to rest a little bit. That's the thing, you know, trying to do this is that you're just kind of, you've got to get the kilometers that you need to in every day to make it to your next spot. So it's nice to have a little bit of a break. It's also nice to come to this shelter under different circumstances. When I came here in 2021, I came from site number 2 in Frontenac Park at Rideau Lake. And it was a haul to get here. It was raining, it was hot. It ended up being a 30-kilometer day to get here. And I was exhausted and my ankles were hurting. So when I got here, it was raining. I set up just over there. There were wasps in the shelter. And basically, I just hung what I could inside my tent. I didn't even eat that night and I went to bed. It was a really hard mental and physical day for me. So it's nice to be here and actually enjoy it under different circumstances. Shame about the wasps though. I feel like we should almost have a can of wasp killer that we just keep here because the shelter is pretty nasty for that. As far as I understand, there's only 3 shelters on the Rideau Trail. This one, the Earthstar shelter in Marlborough Forest, and then there's also the Cedar Grove shelter in Marlborough Forest. There was another campsite. I'll have to put a link in or a note. From Bedford Mills Road to Massasauga Road, there's a trail, and then there's a campsite that Rideau hikers can use. I'm assuming it's somebody from the RTA that allows that. It's right before the Cataraqui Trail when you hit it. But it was still, you know, only a few kilometers from where I started. So this gives me a better push tomorrow, saving me some kilometers. But I'm gonna get settled in, eat, and then go to bed.